This guitar is awesome. Oh, I wish it didn't clear that loop. I just cleared it though. That's okay. We'll do another loop. Woohoo! Beautiful, beautiful morning up in Nashville. Actually, kind of a not a morning. It's actually not a morning, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because last night we had a tornado come right over the house. Everybody's fine. Everything's okay. The tornado actually lifted up as it went over most of Franklin, Tennessee, but it was on the ground, hitting the west half of the city. Beautiful neighborhood. I got some friends out in a neighborhood called West Haven. And it was on the ground south of there, a little southwest of there. All the tornadoes usually go south of us, and they all go kind of a similar pattern, west to east. They usually move through the below Franklin, kind of in the southern part of the county, sometimes in the next county down. And man, a bunch of just thunder and lightning and everything, and the wind was kind of calm, but a funnel cloud touched down. It was going right for this neighborhood, and it just kind of lifted up and passed over it. And then I heard sirens by the time it got to my side of the city, and it was out, and they were saying, if you are right there at this intersection, and I was like, that's just right there. And then I saw someone put in the comments, "Rip McKay's Mill," and I went, whoa, and I can see McKay's Mill from right here out my window, and I went, oh no. So got the kids up, got the family up, and my wife grabbed the baby, and I went and grabbed the boys, and I said, we got to get down to the basement right now. There's a tornado. My oldest son, he was like kind of awake already, and he got up and went down. My youngest son, he's like, huh? I was like, tornado, we got to go. He's like, He just kind of started glitching, like he needed a firmware update. And so I just grabbed, he's got a loft bed, so I just reached up and grabbed him right down. And we went down to the basement. And luckily, I got a nice setup up here. But we had to get to that side of the house because that side of the house is underground. This side of the house is not underground. It walks out to the ground level. It's because the house is built on a hill. And that side of the basement, though, is underground. So we're pretty safe over there. So there's a couple rooms back there. One's the storage room, and that's like all the way underground. And, really blessed to have a basement here because the tornadoes don't happen often, but we are very safe in the basement. And even if there was, pretty significant damage to the house upstairs, we'd be okay down here. Luckily, the sirens were going off. The radars were saying funnel cloud, that showed a tornado on the radar or what was likely a tornado. I do live in an area where I've been told something about the angle of the radar. It makes things look always the same, right? In this little cove right here. And then there's like another radar that way that picks up. So we're at this angle from the radar. I don't really know what this means, but it's often the case that they say it looks like it's very possible for a tornado to be forming right there. But a lot of the local commentators have been saying it. We know that that little area always gets this look because of the angle. And but the sirens were going off. A funnel cloud had been seen in the city. Luckily, it lifted up, and it stayed lifted as it went over us. My understanding is it touched back down after it passed us and went into a more rural part of the county. I haven't heard of anybody, any loss of life or anything. So, fingers crossed and thank God. I don't know. Do you say good luck? No, I mean, not for a past event. But, yeah. So who needs luck? My Father gives me everything and I lack for nothing, right? People are going to go, HW, how did you just do that little riff? And the truth is that was a complete accident. I went like this. I went right off the fretboard, and it kind of like was a note. I don't know what scale that is. That's some sort of a... sort of a Frigilalian. That's a Frigilalian scale. Anyway, so I got this thing, guys, and I've had a Sire H7 before. I have another one in the other room that's humbuckers, and I showed it on the channel, and I was pretty stoked on it. And I was like, this is a really great guitar for the money. And I was like, I mean, if you're getting a 335 style guitar, these might be the ones to get. But what piqued my interest and why I went out and got another one is this. It is super, super difficult to find a 335 that has P90s already in it. And like dog ear P90s. Now, there's been some runs from like, I think Heritage just had a run, but those guitars are $3,500. And, you know, that's a lot of money. Gibson has done some, but they've been like on and off with production of that model. Like it kind of comes back and comes, I think there was a Guitar of the Week that was that. And then they did some for a while. And it's just hard to find. Now, what you do find a lot of is the 330s and the casino style thing. So what piqued my interest, I was like, that's cool. You know, like, you know, it's got Larry Carlton associated. I know this other Sire was good. I bought this thing, and man, I got to tell you, this is another lesson. And sometimes you get a good one, and sometimes you get a really good one. You know what I mean? Because I have no complaints about my other one. But this guitar is really great. And I went and sat in with some buddies, or rather like the youth band at my church. I don't really play with them so often, but my son goes, and I was like, you know, let me just bring a guitar. And I didn't have time to do the practice with them because I had like a little thing beforehand. I do a little Bible study beforehand. But TMI HW, we don't even know your whole schedule. But basically, I was like, hey, I'll just join you guys if you mind, right? If you don't mind. And I kind of know the songs, you know what I mean? So we just sat down and joined them. And I was like, let me bring this guitar. Man, it sounded tremendous. It just sounded tremendous. And, you know, a bunch of the players were like, is that a new guitar, man? What is that? What is that? I was like, it's this thing called a Sire, blah, blah. They're like, wow, it looks amazing, you know? And they were like, how much that costs? I was like, bro, it's like $650 delivered to my house. They were like, whoa. I was like, yeah. Now, here's what I'm really enjoying about this guitar. The pickups are actually really good. And I thought maybe I was going to replace them or something. The switch has been giving me just a little bit of trouble, but it's kind of cleared up now. I don't know if that was some dust I blew in it. You know what I mean? But here's the neck. HW, what are you playing? Playing a John Mayer Continuum Sig B. It's a profile that's not out yet. I'm on a Kemper, and it's not even out yet because the next two releases that you're going to see in like a day or two are just going to be like absolute fire. I love these two packs. One's a Dumble Phoenix preamp that I hinted at in the last video. Next one's a Continuum head, and they do some stuff together too, which is cool. It's a good sounding neck pickup, right? You go to the middle and you get more of this type of thing. Nice, clear kind of sound. This guitar has a little push. I don't, you know, it's compared to a Strat or something. These are a little warmer P90s, which I kind of like. Now the bridge is going to be like this. Now you heard at the intro, I did this thing on the bridge, and this is what I'm really enjoying about this guitar. The bridge sounds pretty good by itself. Sounds nice, right? I'm going to put on a little tube screamer, and we really get like a singing kind of thing. That's a good sound, and I dig it. But if I want to get like a little more throaty, this brighter pickup, it's already got the balls, and you kind of like, I find myself bringing this down, and I do this thing, you know? Back up to full. Bring that thing down. Put on a little more dirt, you know, a little of that chorus thing, and all of a sudden you really got... Oh, you know what? My bad. I tried to hit the chorus and I hit the tuner. Without that chorus, even though I kind of love it, just let you hear it without it. Put a little widener on there. That tone's on like 2 now. Let's get up to like 5. Back up to the neck. Anyway, you hear it, man. There's just so much like tone in there. You know what I mean? And, you know, you can take this other stuff off. Like I'll take the tube screamer off and we can kind of hear it. And I'll take that EQ. I called it a widener, but it's really just bring up the highs and lows, scoop out the middle a bit. Here's back like the neck with just kind of a little chorus and just a little drive on it. Sorry, no chorus. Now the bridge. See? Oh no. There we go. That's what it was doing that before. I gotta go get that looked at. Yeah, man. So anyway, I took this thing out, man, and I was really happy with it. And it's rare that you find something just, to me, it's a little bit rare that you find something at this price point right off the shelf that you're just like, man, that's in the repertoire now. And it's definitely in the repertoire. This week, I was going to go play the double neck, but I'm tempted to bring this. I'll bring this as a backup probably, but probably going to go play the double neck this week. But it's a super, super great find. I'm really a fan of these H7s. Now, I realized that my other Sire has not stock pickups. And the issue with that is I really can't be a judge of how those other pickups are. But I even thought about putting the stock ones back in it. I won't do that. I'll probably just look for another one to try out of this. But these things are great, man. Man, come on. That's going to be a jam right there. Anyway, way too many notes, but just trying to find lines in there, trying to find melodies in there that I like, and that's a cool jam. I'm going to have to play around with that later. H7, highly recommend it. Dudes, thanks so much for watching. Tone Drinking TV, ton of new videos and ton of stuff out this week, kind of back to the regular schedule program. Not even the tornadoes are going to stop us, man.